We are live.
Woohoo!
Hello, everyone. My name is Rachel O'Brien, and I'm a Talk to the Entities facilitator. And this is the beautiful Yvette Panilla.
Thank you.
Hey, how
Hi,
are
hi.
you?
I'm very well. Thank you very much. How about you?
I'm so well. We talk in Access Consciousness about really acknowledging your difference. And for me, the more that I acknowledge how different I am, we're having a conversation about talk to the entities and being aware of the spirit world. So the more I acknowledge the strength of my differences, the happier I get. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Same here. I think just recently, recently in a class, and wow, it just the more you acknowledge these gifts, and truly, it's just even more powerful as you really acknowledge and receive them in totality.
Totally, totally. So today we are going to do a series of 5 lives, and I will send them out to my mailing list. They'll be on Facebook and YouTube. And one of the things that I love in Talk to Entities is we talk about the top 5 myths, and we call them the top 5 often confused truths about entities. And the one that we're going to pick today is if you think entities are scary and bad, that is how they will show up.
I've never had that experience ever.
Me neither. Well, I remember years ago, I had a family member who passed over, and I came out of my shower, and I don't see entities the way I see you. I did see the residue of this energy, and I knew who it was straight away. And I remember being like, "Oh my God, get away!" and I was totally in reaction. And so, in Talk to the Entities, we I was totally in reaction. And we talk about in Talk to the Entities, are you willing to have your potency instead of having fear? Are you willing to have presence instead of doubt? And for me, really, I'm going to say learning to be present with it's not scary. It's a capacity that I have, and I'm the one with the body, has been a journey.
Absolutely. Here too.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so, why do we say it's a confused truth? Is that some entities, like, they may have anti consciousness on consciousness. And also, you've entities like the beings of light, who are the macros, the super beings that teach us to receive. You have, just like people, just like walking down the street, you have people that are most unconscious, anti conscious, you have some that are conscious. And so it's the same with the spirit world, but we've been fed, we've been sterilized in our capacities to be aware of all beings, that we haven't been empowered to know what we know about the spirit world, to have the awareness of what we know about the spirit world. And so a lot of us, we haven't even, our awareness hasn't even been acknowledged. And so then how do you work with that awareness when you're still, in my case, rejecting it, refusing it, making it wrong? And I suppose the big one for me is I had so much doubt in regard to the spirit world.
You're really taking me back to the days when, way before access, I would say the way that I viewed entities was very much what they say, like what we are taught in movies of how to see ghosts or how
Yeah.
they appear in scary movies. And for me, for a long time, I was like frantic, like I, I would say I could barely make friends because for me it was very visual. And I would be talking to somebody and I'd be like seeing some entity sucking like and blood dripping down the neck, and I'd be like, oh, I can't even look. And in my metaphysical days, when I really didn't know what to do, and I was like, call down the light, all these instructions that you were given, right, in the metaphysical world.
running around my house with sage.
Grab the sword.
I actually have a friend who has an Archangel Michael sword in Dublin.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Just like, who was it? Was it Archangel Michael? Or no, what was it? Archangel Raphael, or one of them, like, kills the devil with a sword. There's a painting in it, and so.
That's what I was taught, actually, prior to Access. Like, that's how you dealt with entities, and like it was always the good and the evil.
Yes,
brought up, and that's definitely. And then when you're seeing blood and like you're seeing different dimensions because you're meditating and your third eye is really available, and you're seeing and you're like really freaked out because you don't have these tools.
Thank you so much. The big thing for me is you have this awareness, and then how do you handle this awareness? How do you manage this awareness? And then how do you use it to your advantage is another leap. That's another step. And so what we would love you to know is that, yeah, we will talk in our next broadcast about entities are easy to clear. And so I suppose the education tool today is, yes, there can be entities that are unconsciousness and anti-conscious, and they stay in the same level of consciousness when they die. You're the one with the body. You're the one in charge. And so for me, the Talk to the Entities movement is about a world that has no exclusion, and we include all beings. We've had massive war, we've had massive trauma in our world. If someone dies in a traumatic event or an explosion, then that trauma has to be cleared from their consciousness. And so this is what I love about Talk to the Entities. It tells us, like, to push down these barriers, these metal walls that we've built up to protect us from something. And the big thing that we talk about in Talk to the Entities is you do not have to be protected when you have awareness, because you're the one in charge. Push back, all the entities that are looking to communicate with me right now. A lot of the times, I was telling you earlier, when I communicate with entities, I get these like 2 little increases of blood flow down the side of my face. And that's because my body's like, hey, Rachel, there's a lot of entities around you, And so I know it's amazing.
Yeah, because I'm like you, like normally you would probably be like, what's this? Like, and probably be worried. And I'm like, oh, like that's beautiful. I think that's beautiful now. There was a day when that wasn't the case. And now I'm like, oh, that's just amazing. Like, to have that capacity and your body, the way it talks to you, and to acknowledge your awareness. Again, it's what a gift it is to know that now.
Yeah, and thank you so much for saying this, because for me, this was a progress too. I started to notice when I would facilitate classes that I would just get this like flush of red. And so some people, it can be a rash. Some people, their eyes can get like bloodshot. Some people get scratchy. And so for me, it makes no sense whatsoever that there is not an entity world, beings without a body, a spirit world. That makes no sense when we've had such a massive history on our planet, and you can even ask, how many lifetimes have I had, and then just know that you are the one with the power, you are the one with the potency. And my ultimate favorite awareness and knowing with the Talk to the Entities, the beginning class, we're talking about the tools in the beginning class, is that you can deal with these energies and you can contribute to them, and you can be a gift of consciousness to them. And it's such an amazing journey to come into a Talk to the Entities beginning class. That's where you learn to clear, communicate, cooperate. Receiving is more the advanced class, and you have the intermediate. And so I would love you to know that if you're watching this and you have a child that sees entities, a friend of mine told me that she had her grandchild saw entities and her parents were like, don't, they're not there. That's all rejection and refusal. And then the child goes into this wrongness and they cut off a part of themselves because they're aware of the spirit world. And so the purpose of these lives is to invite you to the beginning classes, and also to invite you to know that you can deal with any energy, and everywhere that you think you're wrong, you're strong. And anything else you would like people to know, Yvette?
Yes, just this whole conversation takes me back. Like a lot of these energies have been coming up because you're coming to Fort Lauderdale to host
I am.
class, and so of course I've been sharing the class and just so many memories. I would have to say that for me it was actually realizing that I had literally like, I was like, there were a point in my life where I was like, that's it, no more. Like
I was the same.
Renounced.
Yeah.
I'm like, whatever this is, like, I don't want it. And it was so funny. It was like, I came to like my first bars class, and ironically they were showing, like they were doing the same thing. They were showing a Zoom about this upcoming person that was coming to Fort Lauderdale. And I remember asking myself, so really, Yvette, how has your life been in these last 20 years that you renounced, whatever
Reject.
that was? Yeah, when I had totally rejected because of what I had seen,
Yes.
like what it looked like to me then. And then I asked myself another question: if what I was seeing, like I work with bodies, I work in a healing capacity with bodies. And I asked myself, well, if you were a healer and if you just died, would you come to you? And I'm like, freaking absolutely. I was like, when I saw it from that point of view, I was like, oh. And then I thought about like those years and all these different instances where I was still acknowledging under lots of hidden whatever. And I was like, it's time for something different. It's really time for something different. It's time to like really know what this is, and truly what gift can this be to me, my body, the world, all of it. Best
Yvette,
choice ever.
I am so grateful for you. I said to my best friend yesterday, Trialdamas, I haven't cried in a long time. And thank you so much for this. I used to cry because I would walk past buildings. I remember one time I was driving past a building in Tipperary, and I called a friend of mine and I said, I was laughing when I came out of your studio. I was teaching a class there in Nina. And when I drove past this land area, I started crying and getting like really upset. And she said, Rachel, there was a psychiatric hospital there. They're changing it now. And so I would pick up on, number one, you can ask, is this an entity? So I would pick up on these energies that were unprocessed energies. And then I would be crying. And like, for me, I'm so grateful that you talked about that, because it was having a negative impact on my daily living and the characteristics of my daily living, because I wasn't using it as a strength. I was still hiding it, refusing it, and rejecting it, And so thank you so much for acknowledging, because I have to say my daily living and the characteristics of my daily living has changed by running the clearings of the Talk to the Entities. And maybe we'll give the beginning clearing. So if you walk into a building or a room or a castle, or if you walk into a certain area land, remember we have awareness of past, present, and future. And you can just run Ailad Shannon O'Hara's video in. You can run who were you, and that deals with an entity's identity. And so this entity might be, well, I was Yvette in Miami in 1970. Who were you before that? Oh, I was in World War II in Germany. Who were you before that? Oh, I was in the Revolution in 1800. Who were you before that? So you're taking the entity out of the identity to let them know that they're not that identity, and you're moving back in time. Oh, so I'm not Yvette. I was this person. I was Jack. I was Mary. I was Paulo in Brazil, you know. Who can you be in the future? And then you can take all your magnetic imprinting, right and wrong, good and bad, put and pock, all 9 shorts, boys, pose and beyonds, and a lovely super clear is all the oaths, vows, fealties, communities, commitments, binding and bonding contracts, and other lifetimes. Will you revoke, recant, rescind, reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy, not create? All of those, because we have oaths, we have from other lifetimes commitments, and this one clearing has transformed the way that I live daily.
Absolutely. I just this morning, like I wake up like clearing entities and using that, and like more and more that I use it, it's shifted for me now. It's shifted into something where my body perceives the change.
Oh, wow.
Trying to
Yeah.
download
Yeah.
that. So amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. First of all, when you start running them, you might just know that you're more peaceful or you feel better. And then you start to really perceive the subtleness of the energy shifting and changing. And I will put Shannon O'Hara's entity clearing YouTube video for the who are you and the what are you. And again, these clearings have absolutely transformed and changed our lives, and we would love you to have that too.
Yes, so please, if you're in the South Florida area, please come join us October 31st.
Yeah.
How does it get any better than that?
I'm so excited.
And if you would like to get warm and enjoy our beaches, if you're maybe in New York or Canada or somewhere else in the world and you would just love to come visit and come be with Rachel and I, please come have fun with us.
Totally. And I do want to say there's Talk to the Entities facilitators all over the world. So check it out, and we hope this video was educational and fun. And what else is possible? What would it take for us to live in a world that includes all beings? Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Mwah. Bye, everyone. Bye.